Hey everybody, and with my longtime friend Tommy Bonk. And hey man, how you? It's great to see you. You know what, folks? I've been so doggone formal. I've known this guy for so long. It doesn't matter. I'm just happy to see.
I'm happy to see you too, Zen. It's been a while.
It has, yeah. Hey, tell me about your show coming up here with Tiger Woods.
Well, I don't know if I'd call it my show, but I'm in the show. It's actually a 4-hour HBO documentary, and the first episode is next Sunday, and the following Sunday it's another 2 hours, and it's oddly enough it's called Tiger, and I am I guess a talking head because I had known him for so long, and they asked me to take part in it. They interviewed me, and then I flew to New York and taped it for a couple of days, and it was really a great experience. Reliving old times and being part of the Tiger thing is pretty good.
I'm going to ask you because I have vlogs with you going back
Yeah,
a long time, talking about Tiger Woods all the way back to the incident, the comeback, everything. Where is Tiger Woods right now, professionally and with respect to history?
well, he just turned 45 on the 30th, so where he is getting older. Physically, he's like all of us. It's the effect of the game, the sport that he plays. He's kind of breaking down and has broken down for a while. But one of the things I've always said about Tiger is do not underestimate Tiger Woods, because he's capable of some pretty interesting things, like winning the Masters last year, where he probably shouldn't have. So he's playing father and son golf with his 11-year-old son now. So time marches on, and so does Tiger. The theory about this documentary that HBO's putting on is it's kind of looking at him as a phenomenon, and he was a product of his dad, and his dad, creation of his dad, really. And how Tiger kind of wound up being a lot like his father. A big surprise there, I guess. But he was packaged in a product and just a lightning in a bottle for so long, and then he had a fall from grace, obviously several of them, and how he came back. So it's pretty much a story of a Tiger story. They've got some great video that people haven't seen before. Not just him on the Mike Douglas show, but some other stuff too. Some things, and there's some guest stars that you wouldn't normally see or wouldn't expect to see. So it's if you like Tiger or you're interested at all in golf or a good documentary, I'm excited to be part of it.
Yeah, and I'm excited that you're a part of it, because I mean, if you had to describe Tiger to somebody who doesn't know him, and really, I don't know the man. I think the closest I ever got to him is I got a Twitter response from him joking about Stanford once, because and because I went to Cali and went to Stanford, it's a whole big game thing. I was talking about we're going to kick your butt again, and of course that didn't happen that year. But I digress. What's Tiger like?
He's a very complicated guy. He's a very proud man, but he's a competitor, I would say, more than anything else. He just likes to go out there. You've been around athletes long enough, but you know that they like the competition. When they retire, what do you miss most? It's the competition or hanging out with the guys. Tiger really has never been a hang out with the guys type person, because he wants to beat them. But he does like the competition, and that's what really drives him.
Will he ever reach Nicklaus in terms of level of legendary status Nicklaus has?
Well, the thing Jack's got on him, which I think is going to be really difficult for Tiger to reach him, is the 18 major championships. Tiger's he's got a ways to go, and he doesn't have a whole lot of time left. The stats tell you how many people fail to win majors after you reach Tiger's age. There are just not many of them. Of course, Jack did when he was 46. He won the 86 Masters. So but as far as popularity or renowned, I think Tiger is the most was the best and most historic golfer in golf ever, because he has the most victories. He doesn't have as many majors, But as far as changing the scene and changing the landscape and increasing prize money and television ratings and endorsement income, and I told Tiger once, I said, the PGA Tour should send a limousine to make sure you get to every tournament, because you made the tour. I mean, the tour was popular and good before Tiger, but Tiger really made it. He changed everything.
I want to say I had the honor of being media at my first PGA Tour over here at Eastlake, and I was excited because I thought when they credentialed me that Tiger was going to be there, and of course he wasn't. And all everyone talked about was, man, you should have been here when Tiger was here, because the crowds were 6 times deep, but he was revered like a god in his absence. And I have to say it was heartening to see. It really was a nice, and the PGA people were just outstanding to work with, but they all love Tiger. And I don't know will that ever be replicated, that kind of impact on the sport by one person on golf in particular?
Well, it's not a good thing to say never, because you don't know. But I would say Tiger's like a once in a generation type person. So I think it's going to be really difficult for somebody to match him. You can only do it once, and then it's already been done. But he definitely has. I mean, there's how many books have been written about him? How many documentaries and things have shown up because of Tiger? I mean, he definitely drove the car. He invented the car. So and then he crashed the car, as we found out.
Yeah. Have there been more Black professional golfers because of him? Some people have said otherwise, but to me, just anecdotally, it seems like he has had an impact just in terms of the, hey, if he can do it, so can I, sort of ethic.
I'm not certain what the stats are about that. My inclination is that he has not. People thought there was going to be a tsunami of Black golfers once Tiger came out, and I'm not sure that really happened. There were Black golfers before him: Lee Elder, Charlie Sifford, great players. And I'm not sure there's that many because of the Tiger influence, but I do think that he influenced people of all color to play more golf. I mean, golf was hugely popular during the Tiger's most successful years, and golf courses were being built, and more people were playing, and more people were buying equipment, and they wanted to wear the clothes that Tiger was wearing and the shoes, and they wanted to look like Tiger. They wanted to wear red shirts on Sundays because that's what Tiger wore. So he definitely had an impact. As far as Black golfers or people of color, the PGA Tour is pretty diverse. I mean, there's people from all different countries that make the PGA Tour their home, from all over, and that is relatively new.
Why do you think? And I say this because it's something I don't think that's been studied, or if it has, maybe I'm just not looking in the right area. But what struck me when I was at the Eastlake was the number of people that look like me that were there.
Yeah.
And so maybe is it that we just haven't done the stats? And because I think there's an idea out there, and I'll just say this as a Black guy, okay? I think there's some of us who are kind of like I was at the Alley when I first started going there in Oakland. It's a piano bar, right?
Yeah, we know it.
I thought, I'm not going to sing that. It's for white people. And then I got over it, and Rod Dibble taught me how to sing, and he taught me how to sing in my voice. And I was in '97, and I never stopped going, and we raised $75,000 for it. My point is, you have to sort of jump in to find out that your fears, and these are fears that we go up with, okay? They're in our families and everything. Those fears are unfounded, but it sounds like that's washing away. If I have to say for myself what I think his impact might be, just from that one time that I was there, I was very happy. I was very happy, tearfully happy, to be honest, because it wasn't.
I totally understand it, and that's not an unusual feeling that you had. Do you remember who Casey Martin was? A Stanford golfer. Yeah. He had a bad leg.
Mm-hmm.
When Casey started playing on the PGA Tour after suing them, He started playing the PGA Tour, and there were people in wheelchairs that came out and followed Casey Martin. So, I mean, that's on a different degree, but it's kind of similar. People of color discovered golf because of Tiger Woods. I mean, I'm not saying totally, but it made it cool to like golf. Golf is it's always been kind of a elitist country club, closed door type thing, and the rich folks, the country club folks, are the people who play golf. That's not true anymore. It's just not true. People there, and there's so many more programs now for kids playing golf and free golf and instruction and things like that weren't available before. I mean, I trace that back to Tiger.
They always call me.
Yeah,
they always call me elitist when I was coming up. So there you go.
Yeah, I don't think you fit into that little hole. I don't think so.
Hey, Dave Compton is a regular viewer. He says, "Good afternoon, Mrs. Amy, Mr. Bonk. First time I watched your show at the start." And he says, "I agree with Mr. Bonk. I did not watch Tiger Woods watch golf until Tiger Woods came on the scene. You know, so you're 100% right." Would Tiger have met or eclipsed the mark that Nicklaus set had he not been caught by his wife and that whole avalanche of revelations came to fore?
I'm not sure. That didn't help him. It didn't help his public image, and it didn't help his PR, didn't help his merchandising and all that stuff. But I really think that more of a factor is his health. He's had multiple knee surgeries, back surgeries, feet, so many things. He missed a couple years of golf because of his injuries. So I think that set him back more than anything else.
And I asked because I remember he gave that speech, which I had. You can actually watch here on Zenny 62 on YouTube, and I believe to this day something that I want you to straighten me out on if you think that I'm wrong. And I think that if he were allowed to be a frat boy, if you will, that energy release that he always had would have produced more wins and victories as opposed to what happened, which he felt like he needed to change himself. And I remember, I think, am I right or wrong?
Well, I think you're touching on it. There's a public Tiger and there's a private Tiger. And in private, Tiger was that frat boy. That's what got him into trouble. His public image was not like that at all. Buttoned up, straight business. I mean, he when he played golf, when he was at his peak, he would barely talk to the guys in his group, because he would have to at the end of the day beat them, and he did not like fraternizing with the enemy. And one thing that HBO shows, the Tiger documentary I'm talking about, is that was an attitude that was nurtured by and instilled by his father. I mean, do not be friendly to these guys. When you're be professional about it, shake their hand when the round's over. But that's just not the way he operated.
Wow. So did he change at some point? Because I watched press conferences where he talks about, you know what I'm saying? When did that change? After his father's passing?
Yes, after his father's passing, and when Tiger started realizing his place in the game was not just numbers, it was his legacy was going to be something more than just victories, although that's good. But it was he started taking the role of the elder statesman in his 40s, elder statesman. He started taking that seriously, and he found himself mentoring people. Bubba Watson was one of them who really close to. Dustin Johnson, the guy who he likes. He likes these big hitting guys that kind of remind him of him a little bit. Hit it and then find it and then hit it again. That's the way Tiger played.
What about his business? He's a billionaire now. And do you ever see him retiring and just being a venture capitalist? I know he's got a restaurant in Orlando, which I'm dying to go to. Have you been there yet? I haven't been there yet.
No, I have not.
What's his?
I don't know what his future plans are. I know he's got a really smart agent, and he's invested in a lot of stuff that we don't know about. Well, we do know about him, but we're not familiar with him, like coffee in Japan and energy drinks, but not here in the United States. So he's a global brand. What he's interested in, I think what he really likes to do is design and develop golf courses. And that business has kind of been hurt because of the pandemic and also the slowdown in golf course design. But he really likes that. And to him, that's pretty much easy money because he sees things, the golf courses, a little bit differently than some people do.
And is this HBO show almost like golf's version of The Last Dance?
I think it has something to do with that. Yeah. There's a lot of experts and a lot of people who have known him for a long time, grown up with him, and also some of his former girlfriends are on the show. So that's now you're going to watch, aren't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. So let's figure out which ones. I mean, are we talking about the woman who is the Tao hostess, Rachel Uchitel?
Uchitel. Yep, she's on. Yep.
Thank you. Uchitel. Yeah,
she's there, and also his very first girlfriend from high school. Wow. From Irvine. So it's So very first girlfriend. First girl he ever asked out. And there's some great video. I don't think it was video then. It's probably movies. Might even be a Super 8 because it's so long ago. You remember Super 8?
I certainly do. Like yesterday.
Yeah, you shot some, I'll bet.
Actually, that was before I discovered I'm a digital guy. So
of course you are.
This all started. Well, that's another story. I don't want to get off the track, but I had a Nikon FM.
Yeah.
So I was close. I was close.
You qualify. That's good.
Yes.
So the whole thing about even bringing this up about Tiger and this documentary is because it's the most thorough investigation of Tiger that I'm aware of. PGA Tour put one out a couple years ago, and it was like a bunch of balls rolling in the hole, in a lot of swings and stuff like that. This is not that type of documentary. The guys who made this are award-winning documentary folks, and they're well known, and this is very well done. And it's just neat, when that HBO thing comes on and goes, woo, when they start the shows.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, I gotta ask you that, and this goes back to when Tiger had that accident, and he was accused of driving while intoxicated. Really, he was driving while
drugged.
Too drunk, And I think some people in the media played up the wrong way, which is really awful. But that's another story. But out of that, I have this impression that I want to be corrected on if I'm wrong. I think Tiger has some friends that are sort of just hangers on, and they're not really there to help him be a better person so much as they are there to enable his bad habits.
No, that's not true. Not my experience with him. Tiger does not have hangers on. He surrounds himself with people who are loyal to him. That's the number one thing, and that's because of their longevity and their association with him. He doesn't encourage or tolerate hangers on. They're of no use to him at all.
Good. That's awesome. As
a matter of fact, Tiger is so strict about who he has around him. They were all afraid to tell him stop his activities because they couldn't do it because Tiger runs it. It's like he's the king and this is his kingdom, and they either are his buddies or they work for him. One of the reasons that I was so proud to take part in this project was because I'm one of the few journalists who knew him when he turned pro, and I did not work for him, and I did not have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Many people did and were not able to appear on the show because they couldn't legally. I don't have any entanglements or agreements that would preclude me from being on the show. So I got to tell my story. I got to tell my truth in my words, and it's the truth. I mean, this is the way I see it. So to me, that was a really good opportunity to set the record straight and give my opinion on about some of the events that happened.
Hey, are they going to give you a clip that we can run?
I'm going to get a clip. I'm trying to stay out of their hair right now because I know they're pretty busy with getting this thing promoted. There are some YouTube previews, just short little teases that are pretty cool. That they're available right now. But it's going to be. I think it's going to be fun, and people are going to like it. If you like it, that's the number one thing. You
and
Zanny.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Compton asks, he says, "What kind of person is Tiger? Is he a humble person at this point, or what?"
Yeah. I would not call Tiger humble. I think he's probably a little bit more agreeable these days. I think his kids have helped him come down to earth. But no, he's not a humble guy. He doesn't believe in being humble.
Is he married? He's going to marry his girlfriend. What's her?
Well, let's call him up. Let's see here. Who knows? I don't know. But I do think it was interesting that his ex-wife Elin was at this father-son tournament because that's her kid too that he was playing. That was Tiger's partner. So, and they share custody, or at least they, kids go between both households. So I think that's a mark of something, some maturity, or whether you call that being amenable or more humble, maybe.
I'd love to see them get that back together. That'd be awesome. Hey, so you're retired now. You were one of the great sports writers of our time, and so what's happening with golf and sports media right now? Is it going to sort of come back after the pandemic? What do you think?
Well, I hope so. Print journalism is not good right now. The situation's not good. And also something has happened in the sports writing industry. It's called aggregation, where somebody can just sit and collect reporting from different outlets and aggregate it and just put it all together and report it as a story. That person who's doing this reporting has never talked to these people, has never interviewed anybody, and not all they've done is collected things, poached them from the internet, and made a story about it. So that's not a good sign for our business.
I see quite a bit of that. One thing that concerns me, and I was teasing Mike Silver about this on Twitter because he gave this like 4-paragraph tweet, or series of tweets about his conversation with Aaron Rodgers. I said, you should put that on your own blog post, ad serve, so you can make some money from it, rather than giving it to Jack Dorsey as free content, which really bothers me. I'll go to, not to belabor this too much more because I want to come back home to the show, but I was at the NFL Combine and I froze for a moment because there were 10 different writers, all not writing on their own sites, but on Twitter. And I said, I will never pay anybody to go to an event to put something on Twitter they could put on our site and then put a link from Twitter to our site, bring us the traffic. I'm sorry. It just drives me up the wall, Tommy.
No, I understand exactly. It's kind of the same thing that we're talking about. So I get that. You have a right to be upset about that.
Hey, we overdue for cocktails, man.
Tell me about it.
I used to, but I'm good for wine and pizza and everything when I come back. And we'll talk about the rest backstage because I know you got a busy day. But I want to have you back. And folks, I have the Thomas Bonk playlist. This is going to be part of it.
Awesome.
And I can't excite. I'm really excited. So give us the day and time this is going to come on so we can be glued to the set.
It's on HBO, and it is Sunday the 10th, 2 hours, and the following Sunday the 17th for 2 hours. You have to check your local listings, though, for the time in your area. Does that sound about right?
HBO January 10th. Check local listings for time. And I'm writing. What I'm doing right now is this is what I'm writing. See, ta-da!
Yeah, I got it. That's
yeah, cool. Tommy, stick around backstage. Mr. Compton, thank you very much for watching, and thank you for your investments, by the way. And hey, subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark OaklandNewsNow.com. This is the man. Hey, the man. If you ever heard of Phi Slamma Jamma, remember, there should be a T-shirt that says "I am." We should have a T-shirt that says "I am Phi Slamma Jamma." Thomas Bonk is Phi Slamma Jamma, because if everybody says "I am Phi Slamma Jamma," sound more like Spartacus, and the point won't get across.
Good idea.
Stick around backstage. That ends this broadcast, folks. We'll be back. We'll see you.